doing? Hello, the
We
internet.
back.
We back. Same bat time.
Back again.
Same bat fireplace. It's actually a different fireplace this week because I deleted my old GIF. So now I have to have a new GIF.
Wait, but that one looks
But
pretty fresh, actually.
This
It's
one,
pretty
I
nice.
like this one better. If y'all saw the other fireplace, let us know which one you prefer. This one seems a little bit more like in your face, like intense, you know? The other one was a little bit more relaxed, like you're kind of across the room. You're sitting in the easy chair. But this one is like you're on the floor, like right in front of the fireplace, like, you know, gazing into the past and the future at the same time somehow. So, that's what I'm
It,
about. I don't
it
know
seems
about
a
y'all.
little bit like unnaturally warm, you know? It seems like so in flames, you know?
I'm down with that, you
I
know.
like flames.
That was my first ever band. First ever concert that I saw was In Flames live
Oh,
at the
nice.
930 Club in DC. You could still smoke in the 930 Club at that time.
This fireplace is warm. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
that's
is-
Hey, Tom. Cheers.
Oh, is that Tom?
It's Tom Medlock.
Oh, what's up, man? Thanks for coming. All right, we got some good tunes for y'all today. And
Yeah.
thank y'all for showing up. I think we're gonna start it off with Carl, and let's make sure that everything is working over here.
Going in
And-
King's order today. Kings.
Kings. Oh, okay.
K-N-G-Z.
K-N-G-Z. All right, let's kick it off. Carl, you ready? Ready to rock?
I am ready to rock
Okay.
over here. Let
Let's
me tell
do
you.
the thing.
Tight. Here we go. Let's rock it.
Whoops.
There we go. All right. Yep. Let me know how this sounds. Cool. Okay. Or maybe he's very quiet. No, I just didn't. Things weren't quite set up yet. Could I? There we go. Can someone in the chat tell me if this sounds weird or if I'm sounding like I'm speaking in a very high pitched voice? Hello, hello, hello. Nice. Hey, Mandy. So, tonight we're going to start off with a little bit of an unbottling. This is Baby Ruth by St. Elmo's Brewery. I want to try to feature a beer from a local brewery each Friday during my part of the set. This is a whiskey barrel-aged barley wine, and it's a limited release. You're probably just going to look backwards on there. This is bottle 1 of 125. So this is the first bottle. I don't think it's the first one consumed, but we're going to open this up and pour while I talk about the first tune on the program today for me. This is actually the first tune that I ever learned on the mandolin. It's called Rosin the Beau, and it's kind of a pun, because, you know, beau can be a sort of a term of endearment. You know, if you're someone's beau, you're like, you know, someone they like a lot, or their significant other. This guy named Rosin, as it turns out, in this old folk tune, Rosin the Beau, his name's Rosin. He's a fiddle player, so he's often rosining his bow. So there's sort of this double meaning between like rosining his bow and his name. It's kind of funny. So yeah, cheers. We're gonna start off with Rosin the Beau and go from there. All right. I've always been cheerful and easy, and scarce have I needed a foe. While some after money run crazy, I merrily Rosin the Beau. So kindly my parents besought me, no longer a roving to go. And friends whom I thought had forgot me, with gladness met Rosin the Beau. Sing welcome for Rosin the Beau. Sing welcome for Rosin the Beau. I know that good quarters are waiting for to welcome old Rosin the Beau. My young day I spent all in roving, but never was vicious, no, no. And somehow I love to keep moving and cheerfully Rosin my Beau. In country or city, no matter, I never could go. My presence all sadness would scatter, so cheerful was Rosin the Beau. Sing welcome for Rosin the Beau. Sing welcome for Rosin the Beau. I know that good quarters are waiting for to welcome old Rosin the Beau. While sweetly I played on my viol, in measures so soft and so slow, no time to stop the shade on the dial, to listen to Rosin the Beau. And peacefully now I am singing, from all this sweet world can bestow. But heaven's kind mercy, I'm thinking, provides for old Rosin the Beau. Sing welcome for Rosin the Beau. Sing welcome for Rosin the Beau. I know that good quarters are waiting for to welcome old Rosin the Beau. Hey, cool. All right. This next tune I'm going to do is a really familiar one. Or it might be. It's the prelude to Bach Cello Suite No. 1. It's also very cross-picky, so a lot of this sort of action going on here. Let me check on the chat here and make sure everything's working fine. Okay. Cool. So there's some video issues. Promise I'm not playing in the future or the past. I'm playing right here, right now with myself, apparently. Okay. I guess I'm just going to go ahead and hop into this. This is Prelude to Suite No. 1. Hey, Chris. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. I'm going to close out my little set with one last one. This is called When in Rome. It's by the band Nickel Creek. If you've heard of Chris Thiele or Sean or Sarah Watkins, they all originally started out in this band called Nickel Creek. I grew up listening to them as a kid, and that was right around when I was really inspired by Chris Thiele and everything he was doing on the mandolin. And so this song was one that I learned really early as well. So this is kind of a night of firsts for me as far as mandolin stuff is concerned. I'm going to try to do it justice with my singing. I'm a little stuffy right now, so I apologize if it's not quite up to par with Chris Thiele's sonorous tones, but we'll do our best over here. This is When in Rome. Sick man go when he can't choke down the medicine the old doc knows? A specialist came to town, but he stays at home, saying no one knows, so I don't honey when in Rome. Those books you gave us look good on the shelves at home, and they'll burn warm in the fireplace, teacher, when in Rome. Grab a blanket, sister, we'll make smoke signals, bring some new blood, it feels like we're alone. Grab a blanket, brother, so we don't catch cold from one another. I wonder if we're stuck in Rome. Answer only dead men know. I'm gonna bet they never really felt at home if they spent a lifetime learning how to live in Rome. Grab a blanket, sister, we'll make smoke signals, bring some new blood, it feels like we're alone. Grab a blanket, brother, so we don't catch cold from one another. I wonder if we're stuck in Rome. Sweet. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Mendy. Right on.
Very nice.
It's funny looking back on the stream and you see like part of your mandolin covered by the graphic, and you're like, I should have moved my chair back further. It's problems you don't have on a stage.
I'm curious. That was really great. Curious what your what's the beer like?
The beer is pretty good. So
What's the percent?
Let's see. The percent is 13.5.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, it's a barley wine, so it's heavy. So it's not a not a sip, or it is a sipping beer, not a chugging beer.
Yeah, shotgun the next one.
Yeah. I got some later stuff too. We'll see how the evening goes, but I'm off the hook now, so I will be consuming.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah, this is good. I would recommend it. They're still doing so St. Elmo is doing carryout. They're still selling merch. I got this nice hat. They are down south a ways, so if you're in South Austin, really easy to get to. Although not exactly, we're not exactly traffic ridden as it is, so everywhere is pretty easy to get to. How is the beer? Yeah, Steve. So it's pretty good. It's sweet though. It is very wine-like. I can say that. It's thick. I'm enjoying it.
Where did they get the whiskey barrel?
I didn't.
Did they say?
The guy didn't know. No, he didn't tell me. I'd have to ask when I go back. I'm probably going to go back and get a different one at some point. But next week I'll probably do Jester King. I'm pretty sure. And then I'm not sure about the week after that, but we'll just sort of go down the line. I'm sort of like seeing who's still doing carry out, which seems to be most places. So Austin Beer Works and a few others.
Nice.
Right on. Well, thanks, y'all. That's my dealio.
How are we looking, Nick?
Sorry about that video sync stuff. We're trying a new audio system today, which may or may not work. So hopefully it sounded good, and I think there were some issues with the like the video syncing up with the audio. But to me, the audio sounded great. So 6 of one, half a dozen of the
That's
other.
good.
Who's
That's what you like to hear.
who's paying attention? I don't even know. Anyway, so I guess I'm
Apparently.
I
playing
should
next.
do a real. I should be doing a real reviews of these. Yeah.
What am I doing here? Okay, gotta click this, click that, do that. Okay, I think we're ready. So what I'm gonna do is, let me make sure I have all my appropriate things. So I'm doing a piece that I wrote this week, as recently as this morning, and what I'm gonna be, it's based roughly on Bach chorales. Right there. Thanks, James, for this book, if you're watching. And I'm doing 3 of them. Basically, the first and third are based exactly on Bach chorales, and then the middle one is improvisation. So, and they're all with electronics. So the first one is, just to give you like a super brief intro to the oh yeah, there is a dude behind me. That's my roommate. Let me go close that real quick. It's the old hashtag TOS. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for the heads up, y'all. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so I'm doing an electronics piece. The first one is based on a Bach chorale, and basically I'm improvising around the chords of the chorale while there's some sample and holds going on. I think 5 or 6 of them. The second one is like a delay-based thing, which is a little faster. And then the third one is essentially auto-tuned, like my violin auto-tuned to the parts of the, to the 4 parts of the chorale. So hopefully that makes sense. If it doesn't, it's like a weird, creepy piece. So here goes a nothing. the end. Cool. Hopefully that all came through, because that was a technological nightmare. I'll tell you what.
You back?
Let's get all the yeah, I'm back. Let's get everybody back in here. Hey, we all back.
Man, nobody. What? You should
No,
have
that
gone
sounded
last,
great.
man. Should have gone
Yeah,
last.
seriously, no one can follow that. What are you doing, Nick? Why did
Jesus.
you do that to us? You didn't tell us it was good.
I
said
didn't
you-
know it was good till today, because it didn't exist until today. So
Oh my god.
that's the first.
I
I guess
you,
that's the second time I've ever played that.
Did
Wow.
you use Super Collider with that?
No, those are all Reaper built-in plugins.
That's fantastic.
So just like, do you want to break that down for a second?
Sure. Let me see. The first movement I used, there's a sample and hold. Basically, I used like one plugin per movement. So the first movement
Gotcha.
I used sample and hold. These are all built into Reaper, which is just a basic sample and hold plugin. And I had like 6 of them running at different rates. So they would capture like a half second of sound and loop it every like between 3 and 10 seconds or something like that. The second
Gotcha.
movement, it was just a delay with like infinite repeat, which is also built in Reaper plugin. Delay with sustain, I think it's called. And I had those set up. I had a click for that one, so I had those set up to like capture 1 beat of sound like every 8 bars, and sometimes like shorter or longer or whatever.
Yeah.
And then that would just loop for the next 8 bars, and I would play whatever. And then it would grab the next one and loop that for a while. And then the last one was Retune, which is like Reaper's auto-tune plugin. And I just like set it up to basically play the notes of the chorale no matter what I was doing. So I could literally play anything, and then the chorale would come out below. But there were some like cool effects where like if you did tremolo, it would also like do weird stuff. Like it basically, if you confuse it into thinking that you're playing like not real notes, then it does like fun stuff. So yeah, so I feel like the more I like screw around with those, the more things like I'll discover that you can get it to do. And like that was like experimental run through of like playing mostly normal stuff, but like if you do weird effects and things, then it will respond in ways that are like sometimes unpredictable because it's confused and it's a robot, so it doesn't really know what's happening. So
Don't let it get
Anyway.
too smart, though. It kicks us out of our jobs.
yeah,
Yeah, man.
It was
Yeah,
creeping.
Nick, are you heralding the end times here?
No, it reminded me of Progress,
Yeah.
and then combine that with like the second one was definitely like Ligety piano etudes.
Yeah. Yeah,
and
it'd be
then
cool.
the third
'cause
one, I'm not sure, I forget, but I had a composer in mind.
The third one felt a little Fratressy to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first one for sure. And because they're random, like the third movement is the only one that sounds like kind of the same every time. The other ones are like mostly random. So like, I don't know what's gonna happen. It's kind of
I
fun.
kind of like
And
the
there's,
idea of. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say there in the first and last, or actually in all of them, there's like a huge monitoring delay. So like that kind of contributes to the randomness of it. It's like because I had so many like FFT based plugins that are running, there's like a massive delay. So close enough. Anyway.
Well, for
Nice.
those of you who knew only about half of what he was talking about, I'm doing all acoustic stuff next.
Great news. And also, Jeff, I think we're gonna let's ditch the Ninjam because I don't think it's working right.
All right. Let's just ensure I have original sound on. Yeah, I do. I
Yep.
think I do. Alrighty.
Now, Nick, if we quit out of Reaper, will that destroy everything, or can I close out of Reaper on my end?
Should be all right.
All right, here we go.
Only one way to find
Watch
out.
the world explode.
Okay.
So I will not mute myself on Zoom,
Yes.
because that would be counterproductive to a
What's
music
that
concert.
Good Zoom sound.
There. All right, Jeff, you're good to go.
All right, I have a fire in my room temporarily. Not anymore. Yeah, cool. So let's do this thing. Yes, no electronics. I'll be doing a little bit of Bach, and then another piece I found on the beloved IMSLIP, the IMSLP, online sheet music archive for all time. They are amazing. And they tell you whether or not you're even supposed to be downloading the sheet music. It's like, this is probably not public domain in your country, so maybe you shouldn't do this. So that's useful. I don't click on those. Because as we determined about a month ago, I am lawful good. So feel free to ask in the comments. I can do the loop without the machine. Oh, yeah. Eat all the plants. Yes, I am vegan. That is true. And I had a delicious salad for dinner. But if you really want to hear about that, then ask me later. So let's jump into some Bach. I am drinking smoky Scotch, Ardbeg. And for those who love Ardbeg, I see you. And this piece, the prelude of the second suite in D minor, is kind of dark and as if there were smoke upon a lake at night, perhaps. Let's get into it. All right. How are the comments doing? Got to make sure I remember to grab the mic. Cool. So kind of dark, kind of smoky, kind of ethereal, kind of moody. I like it. And all the crunchy chords are just delicious, even though they're kind of hard to play. I'm going to switch gears just a little bit to the IMSLP piece. This is a sonata, an excerpt from a sonata by Egon Welisch. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right. I apologize. From his Opus 31 Sonata for Solo Cello. It's got a lot of cool stuff in it, actually. But this particular, the second page, actually, is what I'm going to play. And it's got some cool kind of folk influences, a little bit of non-standard technique and non-standard meter. And I liked it. So here we are. All right, so some cool left-hand pits and some folky stuff. Again, for those of you who may be just joining us, that's an excerpt from Egon Welisch, Opus 31, Sonata for Solo Cello. And if you want to hear the rest of it, I won't be doing it today. But it's cool. And back to Bach to close out my set. From the same suite as the prelude I played before. This is the D minor second suite by J.S. Bach, and we're going to close with the Gigue. This is classic Bach. It's very, very obviously dance-like, and a lot of fun to play, playful, but also dark at the same time. And anything else I want to say? Oh yeah, a lot of cool pedal points with different kind of messing with the same figure over and over again over different harmonies, or as I said, pedals with melodic material over the same note in the bass. So let's get into it. This is the Gigue from the second suite by Bach. All right. Get this back and put a headphone back in my ear. Thanks, Sarah.
Swag. Good job.
Woohoo.
Nice.
Thanks, y'all. Good work. Thank you. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Florida crew. One day we'll get out to your neck of the woods. We've been saying that, like, you know, since forever. And we were almost there. We were going to be there like a week or two ago, but nah.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot about that.
I know. Anyway, can't really deny that Bach is awesome music.
As my dad says, did my dad say it? My dad said something about it.
Can't escape the organist in him.
That's right.
He said.
That's right.
That's the way. That is the way.
Yo, when's season 2 of Mandalorian coming out, though?
October, supposedly.
October? Oh, okay.
All right, Zach, you ready?
Yeah, should I?
Ready to bring us on
Yeah,
home?
does this work, the sound right now?
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Great.
Yeah, it sounded good over here.
Cool. I will continue on then. So I'm going to be reading. I didn't put this in the program, but my grandmother pointed out last night that today is International Haiku Day. So I have with me the Haiku Anthology, 3rd edition. And I happened to just kind of go through the ones that I had dog-eared, some of my favorites, and try to figure out if any of them matched with what I was playing today. And coincidentally, most of them do. Very, almost eerily appropriate. So I'm going to be doing 3 songs. I'm going to be doing a fiddle tune, kind of out of the same collection of pieces that Ross Holmes has arranged, and it's called Arkansas Traveler. It takes me everything I have not to say Arkansas. I don't know why, just in my head whenever I'm looking at it, and then I have to speak the word. Anyway, so Arkansas Traveler is up first, and then I'm going to do kind of another piece that I loved listening to growing up, and it's off a record by Tim Fain, who's a really good violinist, who visited Kalispell, Montana, and played the Barber Concerto, and I was just floored by it. But he has a record called Arches, and this is off of that. It's called I Have No Axe to Grind by Randall Wolf. And then the final piece is the end of the Izai Sonata No. 4, the 3rd movement. And both I Have No Axe to Grind and the 3rd movement of Izai have been major, wow, I really want to play those pieces growing up. So now I have the chance to practice, actually, for the first time ever. So I'm going to read the first haiku by Nicholas Virgilio, who's a 1960s, 1970s famous haiku writer. He got really famous for writing haiku, eulogizing people, his brother in the Vietnam War, and so this one's called. This one's just a little haiku. So before I play the first one, Arkansas Traveler. On my last journey, alone on the road at dawn, first sight of the sea. That's the Arkansas Traveler. I guess I don't need to put on my headphones. I'm just going to keep talking. So the next one is called I Have No Axe to Grind. And I'm going to read one haiku at the beginning and then one haiku at the end. And the first, it was interesting. It was like the very first haiku that I marked in this anthology. And it happened to fit so perfectly with Randall Wolf's I Have No Axe to Grind. And this one is really interesting. There's a lot of different like techniques, tons of double stops, lots of like solo violin idiomatic things, and then some other kind of like creepy kind of moments. I don't know. I don't know exactly what the title has to do with the actual piece, but I know that these are kind of called axes amongst the luthier world, so it's kind of a pun of a title. Anyway, this is a haiku by Lorraine Ellis Haar. After the snowfall, deep in the pine forest, the sound of an axe. Ooh, that was it's a tough one. One more haiku about that piece. This one's by Rod Wilmot. Listening. After a while, I take up my axe again. Cheers. Let's see. Hey, John. John Beam is a good friend of ours and also the most newest edition of the American Postcards Composer Collective. So follow him if you haven't already. Oh, thanks, Steve. I'm glad everybody's liking the haikus. I have one more haiku, I think, somewhere. Yes. This one is the final movement of Isai's fourth solo violin sonata, dedicated to Fritz Kreisler. And I love Fritz Kreisler. I loved playing his specifically Preludium and Allegro, which is quoted directly in this piece. In addition, if you can think back 2 weeks ago, when I played the second movement, there was a theme in the second movement. And those notes also come back in this movement everywhere. So it's kind of based around those same pitches, and then also a huge dedication to Fritz Kreisler. So it's pretty flashy. I'm going to do my best to do it, and we'll see how it goes. So for the final haiku, this one is by Jerry Kilbride. Home from a journey, my reflection in the glass of the front door.
was trying to look up an applause sound effect, but I didn't get to it in time. So
Damn.
we'll just pretend.
This is the most I've ever practiced, I think, in my life. Actually, I've gotten infinitely better than I've ever have in college. So thanks, quarantine.
Something happened with the video there, I think.
Yeah, we have a
Froze up
frozen
on me.
video. Ice
There we
cold.
go. There we go. We back.
Sound was fire though. Right on.
Nice.
All right.
See, Zach knew he wanted to close out. We thought it was Nick. It was Zach. It did turn out to be Zach. He proposed.
Yeah, well, you got to close out with that.
Well, though I
fire-
did think that
fire
that
and
next piece
fury.
could easily closed it out.
No, it's too bad for Nick, but yours really was. That last thing was really.
What
It
are you
was, as
munching
they
on?
say, it was
No,
the
don't even
bee's
get me
knees.
started.
Oh, your sourdough
Corn
stuff?
snacks.
Oh, it's so much sourdough happening in this house. I made sourdough pizza
Oh,
for the
nice.
first time ever, and let me tell you, makes all the difference.
Thanks, Talia Quartet. Thanks for
Thanks,
coming.
y'all.
Yeah. And
my
Zach,
God,
I don't think you,
Nice.
I don't think you realized that Jonathan Bingham's comments made up a haiku.
No,
It was a self-aware comment.
Actually, Zach, I think you should read it on stream because
Yeah, you should, because not
worth it.
everybody can see that.
today is special, a day we would not expect. It is haiku day. John
Yes.
John Bingham.
Bingham, April 17th, 2020. Thanks, Dad.
Well,
Thanks,
thank y'all for
everybody.
coming.
Yeah.
Super
Big
nice to
thanks
see
to
everybody.
everyone that donated during this. Thank you so much. It means a lot. We really appreciate it. I saw a few coming in. That's awesome.
Hi, Susan.
Thank you so much.
All right.
A short stream today. Oh my god.
A short
I like it.
stream.
Shorter than usual.
It's nice though,
More like a
'Cause-
normal concert.
because now East Coast people can go to bed, and Central Time people
Or get
can
another drink.
have a Friday night. And
What
Pacific
about Pacific time. What do
Pacific
they do?
time,
Everybody party
they
it
can
up
go
in
to
your
another
houses.
concert entirely. It's not even
Yeah,
6:30 there.
Thanks, John. Yeah, thanks for coming. Thanks for writing a haiku for us and a piece. John wrote us a really great piece.
Yeah.
We read it
Yeah.
once, and then all our concerts got canceled, so we can't wait to actually play it. It's gonna be super cool. Super cool piece.
Can't wait to actually rehearse it once this shelter in place thing goes away.
Yeah. It's gonna be good.
Oh,
All right,
thanks,
y'all.
So same time next week, everyone.
Same
Yeah.
time.
Same time next
Uh-oh,
week.
Gonna have to learn more
the
music.
fire froze too. Oh no. This is terrible news. Well, I guess the fire is out, so we must call it a night. Thank you all for coming. We will
Yeah.
see you next week. Oh, we have 2 streams next week because we're going to do Friday
Right.
night, normal thing. And then Saturday night, we're doing a stream for Austin Chamber Music Center. We're going to be live premiering. We're doing like a listening party for our album Fantastic Planet, which is our rewriting of the score to Fantastic Planet, the animated film. So we're going to be debuting that, and we're hanging out and answering any questions and chatting with y'all while we listen to the album. So that's Saturday night, the 20 whateverth, and then Friday night we're doing the usual stream. So hopefully,
And
y'all can catch us.
also, if anyone's interested, some good friends of ours in Houston, WindSync, they're a wind quintet. They're featuring us and a bunch of other great artists on a online festival that they're doing. Does anyone have that info? I tried to get to their website, but it looks like I'm getting a 404 error on there.
Let me see if I
page.
can look it up here.
So we were featured on one of their summer music festivals that they run in Houston last year, and it was super fun. And so I think they're trying to feature some of our videos with our collaborations with them. So if you're interested in that, and want to get to know them as a group, especially if you're thinking about the Florida people, Maryland people, anyone that's not here in Texas, they are awesome. So that would be a great thing to check out if you also are looking for other streaming outlets.
Normally their festival's called On Stage Off Stage, but for this year they renamed it Online Off Stage.
Exactly.
Swag.
I think
I'm
it's
trying to put the link
yeah.
in
Just go to
the-
their Facebook, and they
Facebook,
have a
yeah.
big announcement about it. And looks like it's happening this Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So lots of
All
stuff.
week.
All week next week.
There it is. Yep.
Yes, Mendy, it is indeed the quaranteenth.
Every day is the
It is the
Quarantine
quaranteenth
to
every
Oh,
day.
man.
I think that's probably
Oh,
like my
man.
favorite meme is like happy February 107th. It's been good. It's been a great month.
Right on.
All right, well,
Time
we'll
for some more
see
whiskey.
you
Yeah. Cheers,
next-
y'all.
All right.
Next
Thanks
week.
for tuning in.
Thank y'all for coming.
See ya.
Thanks, everyone.
Peace out.
Till next week.